Oh, God. I was so tired.
How much rinsing of Johnny's Instagram antics in America?
Yeah, that's in the intro. That's all
That's
in the
entire
intro.
intro
Yeah, we're going to go in on him.
I've got some zingers.
Yeah. To be honest, let's get it ready. Let's get his IG ready.
How are you loading up the page?
Yeah.
Can you make like a highlight on your profile so we can like go back from it?
Yeah. To be honest, that's the only thing that's missing.
Yeah, I actually have already for New York and Boston and for in DC.
Because New York's actually what I was going to rinse you about, so that's perfect.
Excellent.
This
could
end
terribly.
That was the fastest one.
That was
a rapid intro.
That was quite speedy.
That's super speedy.
We got shit to get through today.
Yeah. This Could End Terribly, episode 30, live and direct from a private location in East London. It's just Bo. And I am here, man like Abs. I am here with man like Johnny.
Hello.
Who was flown in.
That's right.
From MURICA.
America.
How was it?
It was lit.
Cool. And we have a very special guest. Johnny, I think you want to introduce our special guest.
I can introduce him. Formerly of reputable establishments, such as the Tab and Joe Politics, and of deeply unreputable establishments, such as the Telegraph, GB News, and the Home Office. And currently of a reasonably reputable establishment in the Jewish Chronicle. It's Kingston Liberal Synagogue's finest 2006 alumni, Josh Kaplan, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. How are you, man?
I'm good. I mean, a little fucked off that Johnny didn't mention that my role at the Home Office was to run Pretty Patel's Instagram. I feel like that is important context.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is a Pretty Patel podcast, to be fair.
By coincidence, Rich's favourite account on Instagram.
Yeah, I got bars for her.
I've seen her in real life. She's fit. I can show you some videos where she makes eyes at you. Me even, sorry.
She is fit, man.
She's fit.
It's really problematic.
She's not
She
fit.
is, though.
Snatched cheekbones. Absolutely snatched.
Bro, come on. Snatched.
This is haram. Chat.
Yeah, man. We are here. Episode 30, as I said. Johnny thinks it's a milestone. It actually kind of is.
Yeah,
I
man.
think this is what? The last one before the last one for the year. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, big up to all of our listeners who are catching us on Spotify, Amazon. I always say Amazon Prime. It's Amazon Music, YouTube.
If you're nasty.
SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. We are here every other week.
I know
and
that's
we
right.
break down the cruddy, the muddy, and the bloody. I just freestyled that.
That was very good.
Yeah?
That was very
Still
good.
got bars, man. I'll never lose it. Gentlemen, well, let's start with Johnny, man. You just flew in. You flew in.
I'm fresh off the boat.
I really wanted to take the piss out of what I thought from the pictures was going to be a pathetic tan, but it's actually quite.
I can't really. Is there a tan?
It's all right.
Wow.
It's all right.
I'm getting heat on tanning game from an Ashkenazi. That's what's happening. That's what's happening on this podcast.
It's all right.
I think it's all right. And I wasn't really tanning like that. I was so busy doing shit across 1,566 miles of eastern coastline. I Googled it, obviously.
And here you are with a white hoodie that says Philadelphia on
That's
it.
right, baby. I bought this in Philly because I was freezing my ass off. It's fucking cold up in the northeast, man.
It's kind of like when people go to Oxford Street and they buy a hoodie that says London.
London, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, I bought it in Philly. Where else?
So this isn't as embarrassing. I almost bought the Harvard hoodie. hoodie.
Yeah, I've got a
Boston.
Harvard hoodie.
Yeah. I was like, I haven't even been to uni, let alone to another one. Like that would be stunting.
Let alone a good one.
Let alone a good one, right? That would be stunting to a level that it would be audacious.
Dress for the job that you want.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure I want to go to Harvard though.
Bit
No?
late.
Yeah, one, it's a bit late, and two, like I'm not sure how lit they get. I'm sure like BU's a bit more lit. If I was going to go to university in Boston, there's like 3 ones where you could get more lit.
Yeah.
They actually have to work at Harvard. I'm not down for that.
So break down the holiday. What are your main takeaways from it? You were away for 2 weeks.
I was away for 2 weeks. Yeah, so I landed in New York, based myself in New York for 5 days. Whilst I was in New York, I went to Boston on a day tour. That was lit. Went to Philly and DC on another day tour.
Were you on a bus? Is that one of those bus tours?
Yeah. Shout out, Get Your Guide.
Complete with like the voiceover person.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So the real authentic experience.
Trash.
For real. Yeah. Get Your Guide took a lot of my money this fortnight. Yeah. But it was worth it. Boston was lit. Philly was kind of like a ghost town. It's very strange. DC, I'm disappointed.
It's not a good place.
DC
not a
is
good
boring.
place.
No, I went there last year. It's shit.
It's like Frankfurt, right?
Never been to
I've not
Frankfurt,
been yet.
yeah.
Right, so it's shit. But the thing that really got me was the White House. The White House, yeah. The seats of the greatest empire in modern times, the epicenter of the greatest military ever, probably. The White House, fucking tiny.
You went in?
No, you like see it from the
Oh,
outside, right?
yeah.
It's literally just it's a house. It's a large house.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
it's a
what were you
house.
expecting though?
Something like the Palace of Westminster. I don't know.
Sure.
Right,
Fair.
it's the seat of it's kind of the seat of the executive, not the seat of government. It's a small fucking house. Anyway, I got my Pablo Escobar picture.
Yeah.
I got my Trump holding up the Bible at St. John's Church.
And you uploaded
All of this extensively covered on your Instagram.
literally.
Yeah.
And just to go back to New York quickly, I think there was a day
Right.
where you did what I would describe as
Right.
like an American girl's first trip to London,
Excellent.
but in Central Park, where you're wandering around being like, oh my God, I'm in a park, you guys.
Right.
And he tried to make it ironic because
Yeah,
if
it
he was
was
taking
ironic.
the piss out of the influencers when
was
that
ironic.
no, it wasn't. It
was
no,
I think
no,
you
it
were a
wasn't.
little bit too gassed for it
It's
to be ironic.
called performative comedy. I mean, if you guys don't have the chops, you don't have the chops.
It's like so performative that you don't know you're performing.
It's actually meta performing.
Yeah.
It's meta commentary on how gassed I was to be in New York. But New York's lit. What's my takeaway from the Northeast? New York is very similar to London. Boston's basically the same as London.
It was your first time to New York, right?
first time to New York.
Mazza, wow.
Yeah. I mean, it did. The city stole my
No
heart.
wonder you took pictures like
Yeah,
this
New
one
York-
with the bull.
Yeah, 100%.
Pathetic.
Man went to
100%.
Katz's Deli, paid 25 quid for a sandwich.
Oh, I wish I only paid 25. It was like a $40 bill. I ate every
Jesus
one of those
Christ.
latkes. I smashed it. But New York's incredible. I'd definitely love to go back. It was sick. And then down to Miami. Flew down to Miami. But I've been to Miami a couple times before. Nice vibe. Basically, between New York and Miami, you realize that it really is the dollar that gets things done in America. To an extent
that is a pretty insightful piece of
that
commentary on
doesn't
American
that-
culture.
but that doesn't work here, right? You can basically pay your way into anything in the US.
you can pay your way to anything in London, right?
I'm not sure it works in quite the same way.
Well, maybe not, because I guess there's like layers, right? Like establishment, like certain like bullshit clubs that you will never be let in.
Right, but you can $100 your way through any door in America.
What is it that you have? What's your fascination with this fist in hand pose that
Which
you do
one?
in every single picture?
Oh, my hand.
Is that just like your go-to?
That was in DC. My hands were very cold. My hands were very cold on that day. That was like, not only is it arty, it's also functional. And
These pictures are trash, Johnny. Honestly,
Oh, I didn't take them. I'm in them.
who took these pictures?
Oh, so in DC, I made friends with a nice Romanian couple.
Oh,
Who'd actually left their first kid at home with grandma.
How old?
They were like, I don't know, kids like 4 years old or something.
wow.
They just left him and dipped to
Or just
America
peace
for 2
out,
weeks. Yeah, let's see you later. While I was pregnant with a second, so fair play to him.
Fair play.
Maybe they were too occupied to take good photos.
How was the Philly cheesesteak?
That was banging.
Yeah.
That was bang. Yeah, that was like I was trying to maintain the diet till I got to Miami so I could take my beach pick and then blow it. But the Philly cheesesteak was a very dangerous moment in that journey.
Out of all the pictures that you've uploaded onto Instagram, how are the naked ones doing stats-wise compared to the other ones?
So because I've uploaded so much content and received so much feedback on my content, I actually now have a professional page on Instagram.
Oh,
Got a
wait, what?
professional dashboard.
Oh, did you change it to a business one?
Yeah, I was invited to by Instagram.
I don't think you're invited to.
I was invited to
I think you
Instagram.
begged it just slightly.
You called yourself a video creator?
I think I'm a blogger.
No, video creator.
Am I a video
I'm
creator?
looking at it.
Can we get a count of how many posts there were
Okay,
in the
so
2 weeks?
so including
We're not done yet, but I still got the Everglades to upload. I've got
Oh,
two
goodness.
sets of Wynwood to upload. I've got a goodbye to New York and a goodbye to America. There's a campaign coming.
including 2 This Good and Terribly posts, which I appreciate, obviously.
Working on the holiday.
15 posts. That's more than one a day.
Yeah, and then
And each post has multiple pictures.
Multiple pictures on
Most
each.
of
At
those have
least
10.
So we're looking
4
at dozens of pieces of content.
we're looking at 100 plus photos. Yeah, we're looking at 100 plus. And
There was
a
even-
lot of story work.
there was
So
one that
you don't really subscribe to the whole less is more thing.
Absolutely not. No. So this is maybe the only thing that Gary Vee has ever said that I think isn't total horseshit is on the debate between quality and quantity of content. He says quality is subjective, quantity is objective, and it's not up to the creator to define what an audience might or might not like. So in a sense, just pump shit out. Like I am the D Block Europe of Instagram
Of what?
of Instagram America photos, basically.
There was
Just
one
pump
of
out
them.
enough shit and you will get likes eventually.
This one really annoyed me. You
Right.
uploaded a picture of you outside a building and it says Boston as the caption. And then you uploaded the exact same one again, just without you in the picture.
Yeah, so the second post, if you read the description, is actually on the history of the buildings of Boston.
Who cares?
And do you think people come to you for the history of buildings in Boston? Do you think you're their preferred
I
history
mean, if you look
content
at
creator?
If you look at the like section of that post,
Looking at it.
you'll see plenty, how do you
Ooh,
say?
23.
Unsolicited, plenty unsolicited followers. I got a few DMs about that one as well.
Okay.
Anyone who's been following me over the years on my travels knows that #HistoryGang is a real thing. I'm sat with two heathens who barely remember last week. But for those who are appreciative of culture, at me, I got you.
So what's the US like right now, COVID-wise?
So a bit of dichotomy. So in New York, you cannot get into a lot of places unless you've got a double vax.
Okay.
Won't let you in. Someone will check you on the door.
How do they check it? Like, have they got the equivalent
You need
of
to show a COVID pass.
Okay.
COVID pass to get in. You can't fly into the US at federal level without double vax, but the state of New York won't let you in anywhere. In Florida, they fully don't give a shit.
Okay.
They fully don't give a shit. To the extent that the governor, Ron DeSantis, is now going to introduce legislation to ban mask mandates.
Ah.
Right.
So last year I went to Florida for a work thing, doing for the presidential election, and I wore a mask, and I bought this stupid, fucking, really obnoxious Union Jack mask, just to like scoop up some thotties in Florida or whatever. What actually happened was that we went to interview some Trump supporters, and I got spat at for wearing a mask.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So like in New York, like you said, super like more than London, like everyone's fully COVID
And they're
pills
serious
about
about wearing
it.
the masks out and about.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
public.
they walk around wearing masks. Florida, no one wears masks. They fucking hate you if you do wear masks.
Yeah.
I got spat out by this old woman who was like,
She was an old woman.
like mid-50s, but like Florida mid-50s, so like
Oh.
baked, like crispy.
Like a dry
Trump's
raisin.
base.
Yeah, real. Yeah, it's Trump country, and like
Yeah.
got spat.
Whoa. I don't know how to respond.
Yeah, I hate that for you. That's not ideal. But I could kind of feel a similar thing in the air. Like Miami is very cosmopolitan and international, etc., etc. A bit more liberal, right?
Yeah.
The county voted for Biden. I went down to Key West for a day. Holy fuck! Have either of you ever been to Key West?
No, I've
No,
not
I
been to
saw
Miami.
you were gassing about the fried green beans.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. That's fucking
Yeah,
weird.
that's
Who
horrible.
deep fries green beans?
They do.
They did taste quite good. But the point was, it's like an entirely different country. It is like the arse end of nowhere. I mean, you're 90 miles from Cuba. It's off the arse end of the peninsula, which is itself off the arse end
There's
of
no real
America.
equivalent to it like anywhere else in the world, because usually in Europe, those places that are pretty backwards, they're not also really rich as well.
Yeah.
Like whereas like
They're
Florida,
they're not naturally stunning.
yeah, exactly. They're not naturally stunning, and like you're talking
With
about places like
300 years of-
Estonia,
yeah.
like the Balkans. Like they're not great.
Shout out our Estonian listeners.
Yeah.
But there's beautiful houses everywhere. Ernest Hemingway used to live there. It's got
Jeffrey
a setup.
Epstein.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably among others.
I think it was.
And it's a naturally beautiful place. But like you hear people talk, and they've got the I'm sorry, I thought it was America accent. Right, so like I wasn't wearing a mask down there because you can kind of tell, and like basically everyone is gringo. Everyone's a gringo down there. And as soon as like a couple Mexicans got off the bus and I was chatting to them in Spanish, we walk into a bar, they'd be like, Spanish. They were just like back that people were turning up, even for a tourist town, which is weird. To people turning up not looking gringo-ish.
Was the English accent doing bits for you with the bonitas?
It didn't hurt.
Divulge. We're here to pod today, Johnny.
I had a good exploration of what America has to offer. It was a good holiday. It's productive.
Productive.
There was a lot of content to upload, and a lot of culture.
We
was
didn't get
absorbed.
that stuff, did we?
A lot of culture was absorbed. Let's just say.
Problem is when people like you overcompensate with the cultural uploads, like
Right.
of all the stuff that no one wants to see, like you touching that metallic donkey's arse. I think there was a picture. Of, what was that one? We know what's really going on, John. We know it's a facade.
I was getting some ass.
Yeah.
I also think
Literally.
male thirst traps are usually more like what Johnny does, rather than
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
tits and stuff.
Yeah, I did do it. I did do a tits out thirst trap though.
Oh, thank goodness! I was so
Yeah.
worried.
Couple
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, one.
No,
I've got more to come.
No, there was a couple. I
Was
counted. I counted. Yeah, two. Back to
Bet.
back actually.
Were they?
Yeah. This one.
What was the second one?
And
That's not a
then
thirst trap. I was
that one.
pointing at a plane. Yeah, that's a thirst trap. The first one with
Your
the
tops
football.
off. Just the tops off.
Tops
Doesn't
off
matter
doesn't
where
make
you're
it a thirst
pointing.
trap.
Cool. Look, we're going to blast through some topics today, as we usually do. There's a new variant upon road, which many of you would have heard of at this point because it's been running riot for about a week and a half now. They thought it came out of South Africa. They shut down everything. Few new countries went on the red list, and they realized maybe we were a bit late on this one. We might be wrong. Either way, because we had some cases here already in, I don't know, let's just say
London.
Peckham, Weybridge, whatever. We had countries such as Israel, Switzerland, who basically turned around and said, nobody above blocking. You cannot enter.
Are we banned from Switzerland?
Yeah, UK.
Oh, that's a shame. I was really looking to visit.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of conflation going on because at the same time, we've got this huge booster push going on.
Yes.
You know me. My COVID conspiracy antennas are buzzing like
Yes.
motherfucker. Firstly, it was the vulnerable people and the 50 plus who were invited to come and get their boosters. And then right before the Omicron came about, they invited the 40-year-olds or in that age range to come forward. And then when Omicron came forward, they pushed through anyone who was above 18 years old, which is a bit of a mazza, if you ask me. What I didn't get at the time is we didn't really know that the current jabs that we had actually protected us from the Omicron variant. So I don't really know what the idea was behind a booster. And ultimately, if we can be on fucking booster number 55, if Austria, Germany, Hungary, France aren't getting those motherfuckers done, then we're going to be in this situation forever. But yeah, we have a situation now where, to Johnny's point, you have to have PCR tests to
record
podcasts. Randox heard us on the last episode and we're like, Johnny,
my friend,
Johnny, bro,
my friend,
we let you get off lightly with these lateral flow prices. you want to pay full whack? We got you, bro.
But next time,
we got you. Do we care?
I hadn't heard of Omarion for the last 15 years, and I wasn't aware he was back. It's good to see.
He never
him.
left.
It's supposed to be variant.
He never left.
That's what it is. I don't know. What is that to say? Honestly, like people in America were like, "Oh my god, there's another one." I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I just kind of feel like people are sort of done with it. Like,
Yeah.
cases, if you look at the cases here, they're going up, but hospitalizations aren't. It doesn't seem like where we were at last Christmas. I was speaking to my mate about it. He just had his Christmas party cancelled. It was pretty peak. But like, they're not going to shut pubs, I don't think. Because I think, number one, people just won't go for it. Number two, Rishi does not want to give more money to these people. Or anybody at all, ever. Anymore. Like, done with the money. Done with the money.
Did you see Rishi Sunak's Palm Angels slippers that were doing the rounds?
Yeah.
It said Merry Christmas on each
Yeah,
foot.
I think he's an op, man.
Yeah, he's a massive op. Anyway.
Sorry, yeah, no, but like, I think people are sick of it. They haven't seen the sort of scenes we saw during the first lockdown or even last year, to be honest. We were like vaccinated out the arse. Like, I personally don't give a shit. I'll just keep getting boosted. I don't really care.
Yeah.
I had COVID in September. It wasn't that deep.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not, no disrespect to anybody that had it in a more deep way. Yeah. But like, I basically just lost my sense of smell and taste for like a week and just had to stay home. It was actually pretty chill.
Yeah.
Touch.
I
got written off by COVID. I had it pretty grim, but that's not to say that. I mean, that shouldn't be the basis of any argument anyway. What can you do? The problem, to go back to something you said, the problem isn't necessarily that France and Germany and Belgium, whatever, have only got 64%, 63% vaccination rates, because kind of between natural herd immunity people who've got it and that level of vaccination rate, it's unlikely to produce wildly strong mutations. It's really the rest of the countries, like areas like Southern Africa, where vaccines aren't being delivered and the virus is being allowed to run en masse on populations.
Well, people were
that
saying
more likely
that
to create mutations.
it was like a supply issue in like Southern Africa, but like there was something that came out that loads of people, there's so much vaccine hesitancy in a lot of these places that they're like having to send vaccines back and like shit's going out of date and stuff. And it's more about like the cultural reasons why people aren't taking the vaccines rather than like a supply thing. Like, we've been shipping so much fucking AstraZeneca all over the world, but like there's a lot of places, especially India, people aren't taking it. Like, and it's more of like a global education sort of thing.
They're kind of one and the same. They're one and the same campaign, right?
Yeah.
In that you can ship a shit ton of anything, but if you don't provide the education behind it, then people aren't going to take it. I think the West, whose economic interest is in getting people jabbed globally, needs to be taking the lead on educating people as much as getting jabs into arms, right?
I don't know if I signed up for boosters all for the rest of my life, man.
Well, but I mean, like, it's a similar thing. Like, people get their flu jabs every year. If you're like got asthma or whatever, like, it's just going to become endemic. We're just going to be like, oh, COVID season or flu season. Like, that's really what's going to happen. And like, you'll sign up, you'll pay a tenner at Boots or whatever, just get it done if you're vulnerable. Yeah. I haven't had a flu jab in like years and years and years.
I never had one, actually.
I'm built different. But yeah, like, I think it's just, people are just going to do it. I think also, if you look at the polling, the majority of people in this country don't really have a problem with boosters. Like, once they got the first two, the majority of people over the age of 50 just got it. Like, my parents just did it.
Just walked in.
Yeah.
I'm a bit uneasy with the concept of boosters ad infinitum, because that isn't what was pitched initially, right? I'm thinking like, do I keep getting Pfizer for the rest of my life? Do I survive on chicken soup? One tastes good, one gives me a headache. Yeah, I'm probably going to go for chicken soup.
So your hashtag rich gang Pfizer.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally walked out of a testing center because they offered me Moderna, and then I got COVID because I didn't get the jab.
True story.
Yeah, I was fucking murked for a month. I should have just taken Moderna. It's proper stupid. But yeah, I can understand why people don't want to take boosters ad infinitum because
the EU are going to make that very, very, very techie for man, though, because they're already talking at that level, expire or the concept of expiring COVID passes if you don't have your booster within X amount of months from your second jab.
Yeah, it's kind of
going
mad.
to get very sticky if you want to travel.
And they're also just locking off people who aren't double jabbed anyway, right?
Yeah.
That is proper jokes.
That's
is proper jokes. I was chatting to people in America about like Europe, just Austria in particular, and then Germany going on to it, shutting people in their houses. They haven't had the double jab, and they were like, "Oh, this is why we got the Second Amendment. You couldn't do that shit over here. Y'all Europeans are fucking crazy." Yeah. And I was like, "Well, we're actually not European anymore. We kind of walked out." But yeah, no, I hear you. That is mad chat. I don't think that's right to lock off people in that.
Yeah, it's coming. We're meant to be.
We won't do it here. We will never lock people in there.
No, there's too many sort of
it's bad politics, right?
Yeah. A lot of pre-departure tests will come back as well, like for double jab.
Those were such a fucking scam.
Yeah. So that's coming back for France. So France have just announced. First, it was weird because they rolled out the non-EU announcement one day saying if you're non-EU and double jabbed, you need a pre-departure test within 48 hours, and then it's basically similar to Switzerland and Israel now. Anyone coming from the UK has to do it.
So that I think is a very low lift. I'm actually shocked I didn't have to get a PCR to come back here. I would have expected to.
Not anymore, really, because I went on a holiday in the summer. I had to go to fucking Malta.
Yeah, so when I came back
to get scammed.
So when I came back from Spain, I had to do it, right?
Yeah.
But now, at the advent of this new variant, however we were worried or not, I was shocked that coming back from America, I didn't have to have a PCR. I would have taken a PCR test willingly as a condition of coming home, sure, but like it's not on the government mandate. I just need to have one on day 2.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really sort of find any sort of fucking logical consistency in anything the government's done for the last year and a half. Like,
they're fucking hopeless.
Yeah,
they are
absolutely
fucking hopeless.
But shout out a person in Italy who we can only describe as a man in his 50s who wanted a COVID vaccination certificate without actually getting the ting so badly that he turned up to his appointment with a fake arm and tried to get away with it.
Oh, yes.
The man arrived for his shot with a silicone mold covering his real arm, hoping it would go unnoticed, but a nurse was not fooled and the man has now been reported to the police, you snitch. The nurse told local media that when she'd rolled up his sleeve, she found the skin rubbery and cold and the pigment too light. After being discovered, the man tried to persuade the nurse to turn a blind eye, La Repubblica reported, but instead she reported him to the police for fraud.
What did he do with his real arm? Did he just like tuck it in?
Put it in like a sleeve.
You know when you
maybe?
walk around playground with pretend that your arm was chopped off?
Yeah. I mean, the audacity of him to think that a nurse, of all people, would not know what a real arm looks like.
That is very jokes.
Oh, man. But yeah, really, really hope that this is the last COVID-related story we present in 2021 at the very least.
I'm kind of down to take the Florida approach. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
yeah.
Everyone
just get lit.
I mean, fuck the old people.
Yeah, I don't know if we. Yeah,
a lot of old people in Florida
I don't know
as
if we
well.
need to be banning mask mandates or anything like that. But yeah, I think we took a stance before this Omicron stuff that people die every day.
Yeah.
And now we've been forced to make this decision.
Also, you notice it's like the way people react to it in different parts of even London is just so mental. Like I remember first lockdown, I walked through like Kensington, Chelsea, buckle people out, no one around. You walk through like Brixton and Peckham, people just live their lives.
Yeah.
Like that's been the whole way. That'll be the whole way still.
Look,
like,
wings and things are open. The people will go.
I actually was in a chicken shop last summer and someone shouted out Rishi Sunak for paying for his wings. I think that's because like obviously everybody in the country was getting furloughed and like having money just put into their bank account. I think, I could be wrong, but I think that's the first time I've heard the name of a cabinet minister mentioned in a Morley's. In a positive way.
It's a good way of getting voted. Shit.
Yeah.
More than Keir Starmer's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skills.
That's
Very
our
well
one-
done.
that's our one
Very
shell a
well
week.
done. Yeah,
That's our
no,
one
very
shell
well
a
done.
week.
You worked that in. Where do we go to next? We got a few things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about, we said her name, we're trying to figure out how we say her name, Peng Shuai.
It's just like the Chinese tennis girl.
Yeah, we could go there. We could talk about your boy, Wiley, every Jew's favourite grime
Your
artist.
boy Wiley.
Yeah, not our boy.
He's not,
Your boy,
not my
Wiley.
boy. He's your boy. He's more your.
For the first time ever, Rich is going to know what it feels like to be a minority.
I'm saying, man, I'm glad you addressed the elephant in the room. Fucking hell, I kind of know what you've been feeling like these last 29 episodes.
Threatening,
Jesus.
innit? Threatening.
Fucking hell, what can I say?
Weird how like Jews have found a way to control this part of the media as well.
But we can go there. Let's fuck it. Let's stay there. Let's stay there.
Let's stay in a topic you feel comfortable discussing.
Yeah, exactly. Twitter and Instagram have once again suspended the accounts of British rapper Wiley after he shared a deluge of anti-Semitic content on the platforms. deluge.
What constitutes a deluge?
Who knows?
Bare posts.
Yeah, exactly.
Brown and Jack
I would say
Mendel,
Johnny
basically.
did a deluge of posts.
That was a massive deluge.
That was a small trickle of high quality content.
Small trickle.
Yeah. There's more to come.
The Twitter account Wiley Recordings was permanently suspended for violations of the Twitter rules on hateful conduct policy. A company spokesperson confirmed to Jewish News on Thursday. Wiley's Instagram account by the same name is also no longer online. The social media giants took action after the London-based Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, or the CAA, informed them about anti-Semitic posts uploaded by the rapper. These included a number of posts and videos. One included, was titled rather, "The Jewish Faces That Control Hip Hop and Mainstream Black Music," and a clip by notorious anti-Semite and Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan, in which the latter said, "I'm here to separate the good Jews from the satanic Jews."
Very
Well,
good.
If you had to say, are we good Jews or satanic Jews?
Are you putting me on the spot?
Yeah.
Well, we've known each other for about 45 minutes. Good vibe so far. Johnny's a bad breed. Like, what people don't know about Johnny is Johnny's actually a bad breed.
Satanic Jew.
How am I satanic? We went to the same shul. We did the fucking bar together.
No, I'm not saying that. I was just, just posing the question.
You're cool. You're cool for now.
Cancelled.
You're all right.
I'll take that. That's almost the nicest thing
An
you ever said
I
to me.
Jew.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Am I all right still? Am I
no,
cool?
fine.
You're
I'm cool. Yeah, I'm all right.
surviving.
Am I
You're
all right?
surviving.
Jesus Christ, in my own fucking yard. Crazy. Yeah. In a separate tweet, he wrote, "If you work for a company owned by two Jewish men and you challenge the Jewish community in any way, of course you will get fired." At one point, Wiley changed his Twitter profile picture to that of a senior figure from the CAA who he proceeded to taunt in a number of tweets. Now, it's been a crazy week for anti-Semitism. I mean, I think in many respects, every week is a mad week for anti-Semitism. And I know you, Josh, in particular, I was doing some research, obviously, before you came, that this is something that you've been writing about quite a bit recently. And there is a funny story that we're going to go to, because the Azim Rafiq situation that's going on, that had him taking pictures with the Holocaust survivor.
So I was there for that.
Oh, man. Honestly, them pictures, I was dying laughing.
Yeah. So
I was dying laughing, but we'll get onto that.
Yeah.
But like, guys, Wiley, we started, just for context, we started this podcast probably about 2 or 3 weeks too late.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get the proper Wiley meltdown, which was really, really annoying, because I really wanted to get into it. But
So as I said a few weeks ago, baybeee was a thought leader because he found a sponsor in the gay community to uncancel him. 2 weeks ago, I offered to uncancel Wiley for £1 million,
and he heard you.
that price is now £2 million. The offer still stands. Wiley seems to think that we're all about the money.
I mean, doubling the price does seem to suggest it's somewhat financially driven.
It's not entirely wrong. It's not entirely wrong.
Told you's a bad breed.
It's not entirely wrong. We got to eat, right?
Yeah.
I got a holiday to pay for.
Yeah, true.
These Instagram campaigns don't pay for themselves.
Correct.
But as I think I've said before about
No,
Wiley,
let's get into it, man.
Definitely.
How does it make you feel, honestly?
what Wiley
Let's
talking
get
shit
into it,
about the
because
Jews?
we touch upon, yeah.
Like, what's changed? He's this guy. Wiley is basically becoming a posh girl from West Hampstead, in that all he talks about is Jews.
Is that a thing?
Wiley is a Jewish girl from West Hampstead.
Is that a thing?
Very obsessed with the Jewish community.
Very
like,
obsessed
in
with
the
Jewish
in the
community.
North London Jewish bubble.
Yeah.
Johnny's referring to a certain group of like very cliquey Jewish girls who both of us have probably tried to shag and failed to shag, which obviously has nothing to do with it. But
Absolutely
very
nothing to
just
do with it.
obsessed with the Jewish world. Always talk about who knows who's going to whose synagogue, who's doing blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But your point is basically that he's got like Jewish brainworms, right? Like he just has this obsession that the world's turned against him because he doesn't like Jews, and it's just like, well, yeah, I mean maybe, but like that's probably all right because you're being bare anti-Semitic.
Talking head of shit, Kerr. What do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
What do you expect to happen?
And like, I kind of thought originally with Wiley that he's sort of adopted this kind of slightly American like flavor of anti-Semitism, which is just like a lot of like black artists sort of didn't like their Jewish managers and then made it into a Jewish thing and like took the sort of personal beefs that they may have had with like individual Jewish people that, potentially did some weird shit with their management or whatever, I don't know, but like has
Probably
then
did
made
some
it
weird
into like, I now hate all Jews. And that's I think the fucked up thing. And it's like this ignorance of like, and also like, I don't know, is he mentally well?
Oh,
Like,
he's not.
He's
He's
not
obviously
absolutely
not.
at all.
He's not.
Like even when like, when was it the Stormzy beef? where he sort of like really just took several fucking massive L's over and over again online.
He kept uploading his own L's onto YouTube.
That
was a great summer.
He's like chronically addicted to posting his own L's, like just over and over again.
As Devlin said on the War Report on Logan Sama Kiss 100, sometime around 2005, William, your tit fake like silicon, sniffs got to your brain cells and is killing them. You bang girls at 15. I'm only 17 and I still wouldn't do that. Your career's dead like Biggie and Tupac, etc., etc. Right? Wiley's been a wrong'un. Thank you. Wiley's been a wrong'un from day. Yeah. From day. He's just had enough money that the PR's been able to like.
And his music was probably good enough.
It was. And
he invented the genre.
He came out with Wearing My Rolex and then he just rubbed himself out.
Yeah.
Rubbed himself out.
I think we're in his ends, by the way, so just be a bit more respectful.
Well, again, I'm sat here for £2 million if he wants me to turn the script around.
Yeah.
But fuck him. Fuck this guy. Like, when was the last time Wiley released a banger?
Bossy is quite recent.
That was carried by Idris Elba, that track.
Is that a banger?
I fucking hate Idris Elba's part. To be honest, I got this weird thing where I kind of hate Idris Elba in most things. It's really weird.
Why?
I thought he was bad in the Bossy Bot video.
I think he's getting away with murder out here.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
Are you anti-black?
So I think he was amazing in Luther.
Yeah.
And I think when that movie comes out, it's going to be great.
What about The Wire?
Have you watched Back to Wire and listened to that accent, man?
No.
Someone on Twitter was like, you can hear him go really British when he shouts.
Oh my God. Like
really bad.
Anything that he's ever done American, just watch it back. Honestly.
The Office. He was in that. He's done like a few episodes of The Office.
Yeah.
Pretty shit accent.
There's
actually.
that new thing on Netflix he's quite good in. The Western one.
Yeah, the Harder They Fall.
Yeah.
His character in that is a little... Yeah, his character...
carries that film.
Exactly. His character in that is a little bit more dark and it's almost kind of similar sort of in terms of the way he speaks and his diction to Luther. So he doesn't necessarily have to have like a real... There's not really a massive focus on his accent in that film because he doesn't say as much. But yeah, I think he's getting away with murder. Beautiful man. Beautiful man.
That's it though, isn't it? That's how he carries it.
Talented. Right? DJ, MCs, all that stuff. He's talented for sure.
as well, apparently.
But I'm not sure in his acting. And I think many of his films...
How will his career recover from this damning indictment?
Well, look, I mean, we're just here to tell the truth.
Is he James Bond? Is he not James Bond?
He's going to be in... I think the latest update from that is that he's going to be in the film, just not as James Bond.
Oh, interesting.
I think he'd be a good Bond. I mean, I haven't watched any of those films for like 5 years, but like whatever.
I called it episode 2, episode 3. Shoppy Derucci should be the next Bond.
Yeah.
He's the guy. Anyway, back to Wiley.
Shouldn't be black. But back to Wiley. We just don't have to do it.
Don't have to. But he's sick in Gangs of London. It's very Bond-esque.
We didn't have Jason the Bourne Identity before. We built them and they made it. Just have another one.
Yeah, who the fuck did they get? They gave that to the weird dude from Marvel, from the Avengers. And then they fucked that, so they went back to Matt Damon.
Exactly. Anyway, Wiley.
Damien.
Bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, what's the hot take? The guy's a nutter. He's been a nutter from day. He hasn't released a banger in fucking ages. Fine, he's got this like some kind of reverence as the guy who kind of invented
But that's kind of
grime.
fading because like he hasn't released any good music.
In time.
Chronically lost against Stormzy in that, the big beef. When even was that? I can't remember. But like
2 years ago,
It was probably like, I think it was during lockdown, 2020, I think.
Was it?
Well,
when all
it was
the
just
beef tracks were coming
lockdown,
out.
right?
Maybe, yeah. But that's when they were like literally going back and forth. Like Stormzy would release a track and then he'd release a track.
And then Stormzy baited him out for sending his mum to Cyprus.
Yeah, that was it.
That was
exactly.
the hardest part of the whole lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you give Wiley, basically like, he's been cancelled. Then he was actually allowed to go on to Sky News and that geezer interviewed him in the park and he looked like a nutter. And then he sat down with Poet and like it made himself look even more stupid. Which is quite a mean feat when you've got such a friendly interviewer. I don't know what else there is to say. Like some people are just dickheads, and there is a special kind of dickhead who has a focus on a particular subject.
Yeah.
Wiley is a special dickhead with a focus on a particular subject.
I think also like people obviously bang on about cancel culture, people's careers ending, blah 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 blah. But like this is a very clear case of someone who's actually just a bit of a wrong and got some real like kind of nasty racist shit in their head. And also I think fundamentally has not made any effort to just be like, yeah, that was a bit fucked up. Shouldn't have said that. This is the reason why I said it.
Doubling down.
Doubling down, going harder and harder.
How do you guys feel? What do you think about Twitter taking him off though? Cancelling his accounts.
So for someone like Wiley, and it's kind of the same thing with Trump, right? I'm happy for dickheads to expose themselves constantly. Like it's maybe a bit more dangerous to Trump because like he runs for office and sometimes people vote for him.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to take Wiley seriously saying this shit, right?
I think the thing is though, is that if you take people off these platforms, you basically say to them that these views aren't going to make you money. They're not going to get you publicity. They're not going to get you appearances. Like when Katie Hopkins got kicked off everything, people basically didn't hear about her. She's just sort of fucked off into the ether.
Yeah.
Like, do you know Milo Yiannopoulos from a few years back?
Yeah.
Like, he was fucking deplatformed everyone, and someone found a video, and he's now having to like pretend to not be gay and shell like and fucking shill for like a Catholic figurine company and
so
do like
jokes.
QVC shit. Like, it's a really depressing thing that's happened to him. But
it's also proper jokes because his whole thing was like, I'm not racist, I'm fucking a black guy.
Yeah.
And now he's suddenly not gay anymore.
Suddenly not gay and
Yeah.
like has had to repent for all his Nazi shit that he said. But the point is that if you get rid of the mainstream ways of these people to make money and get attention, then they either have to double down and go more insane and get more marginalized and become more niche and basically fuck off from mainstream view. Or they sort of have to give up and, you know, apologize and have some cap in their hand and come back.
The thing that gets me about Wiley versus people like, not Kate Houghton, she's fucking it, but people like Milo Yiannopoulos is that there is some potential for those views to be influential because he's an intelligent bloke.
Yeah.
Right? He's a shiller, but he's not a moron.
Yeah.
Right? And there is he would be capable of refining that speech to make it more dangerous. Wiley just doesn't have the range to get into this kind of discourse seriously, right?
But I don't think you can draw, like, where do you draw a line? That's such like a subjective thing. So I think if people do a racism, you can just kick them off. And like, there's an argument that like, if it had been about, you know, a different type of racism, maybe we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because I think there's a bit more, there seems to be a bit more of a grey area when it comes to
this is your point, and this is what you wrote about, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you should expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, it basically, like, I wrote this article this week. There was basically like, for a lot of people, there seems to be this weird kind of like blind spot when it comes to anti-Semitism. Like, there's a lot of like very progressive, very anti-racist people who do good work, call out shit when they see it. You know, people that will like post those videos of like Karens calling, you know, cops on a black guy just for fucking minding his own business. But weirdly, they just don't seem to give as much of a shit when it's about Jews. And maybe that's because, you know, to look at me and Johnny or, you know, most other Jews, you wouldn't necessarily know it. We don't stick out. It's not like an obvious skin color thing or whatever. But it does kind of feel sometimes that like anti-Semitism isn't taken as seriously as other forms of racism. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because of like one of the big stereotypes about Jews is that we're all, you know, rich and control the media or whatever. But it's just kind of disappointing to see people who condemn anti-racism in all its forms have like a bit of a blind spot about Jews. And the thing I wrote about was there was this video that went around, we actually published in Jewish Chronicle, about these kids getting shouted at when they were just celebrating Hanukkah in Oxford Street by these guys. They're like banging on the bus window. They're like screaming at them, like really sort of like nasty, threatening shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just didn't seem to care.
Yeah.
I kind of, I get a bit uneasy when we start verging towards no other race discourse, and that's not you're not going as far as no other race. I know you're not, but it's when Jews like David Baddiel come out and say that anti-Semitism, write a fucking book on saying that anti-Semitism is treated differently to other races. I'm not entirely sure it is. I think that Jews experience anti-Semitism in the same way that other minorities experience racism in their communities. We've just got a lot bigger platform to write about it, and we're often better heard than other communities of colour.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And so there is a lot more column inches and airtime devoted to us complaining about it that other minorities don't have access to.
Yeah.
I'm sure when East Asians in America were being attacked last year, they probably felt like, why does no one care? It's the exact same discourse as we're having, you know, when black people are being deported under the Windrush and flights taking off to Jamaica for people who were born in this country. They were saying, well, it doesn't seem like anybody cares. So I get uneasy when we start verging on the it's treated differently shtick. I don't necessarily think it is treated differently. I do think there is a unique association between, or is that there's a unique dissonance between separating anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism, and I think that people cross that line very easily, and that's something that maybe is less applicable to other minorities. But the idea that Jews in particular suffer a unique kind of racism that nobody gives a shit about, I think that's wrong. I think that all forms of racism are uniquely felt by their own people, and really the only way that you address them is, I don't want to kind of get into platitudes, but the only way you address them is solidarity among the different minorities and understanding that there are wrong-uns in each community. There are dickhead Jews who talk shit about black people. There are dickhead black people who talk shit about Jews. That's not to say that either of us should feel like any of our complaints are adequately heard, because until there is any racism, then we're all going to feel like we're being oppressed. And the idea is that all racism gets stamped out equally, because whilst any form of racism stands, that someone's going to feel like they're not being listened to.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, I was actually speaking to an Irish friend about it, and obviously like Jews and Irish are different in so many ways, but she was basically saying that like a lot of anti-Semitism seems pretty similar to like anti-Irish things, where like there's this working class one that's sort of based in like ignorance because you probably never met a Jew or never met necessarily an Irish person or whatever, and then there's this sort of like posher, more insidious sort of like I was at a party the other day with this really, really posh woman, and she was like, "Oh, I hear you work for the Jewish Chronicle now," and I was like, "Yep." And she was like, "Wow, it's so brave of you to just, put it all out there and just sort of nail your colours to the mast." And I was like, "Brave? Like, I got a job. They're paying me money. It's not brave." Like, and like that's the difference, right? Is that like, it's probably for all types of racism. Like, you shouldn't, gatekeep or whatever. But like, there is like this sort of posh strain of it where people like, it's more dog whistly than it is. And then there's like the sort of more, I guess, working class racism where it's just more shouty and like, the West Ham fans on the plane the other week shouting at that Orthodox Jewish guy. Yeah. Like there's different types. It's all bad, right?
Yeah. We'll finish this by going back to where we started. A couple of weeks ago, we focused on cricketer Azeem Rafiq, who sat in front of us all and said how bad his experiences were in Yorkshire Cricket Club, I think it was. Yeah. Only to then have his old Facebook shenanigans outed to the world, in which he himself had a few not so nice things to say. Yeah,
some borderline comments,
borderline stuff.
Over the boundary,
which were anti-Semitic.
For the cricket fans out there,
which were anti-Semitic.
Shout out the Estonians.
And Josh and the Mandem ran up on him and was like, so there's this museum we want you to visit.
Yeah.
And we got a very special guest who survived the Holocaust. Don't know if you know about that, Azeem.
He actually, so funniest thing is that someone asked him and they were talking to this woman who was in Auschwitz and he had never heard of Auschwitz. Like, never heard of it, period. Wow. So I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked up.
If we're talking about L's, that's got to be one of 2021's biggest ones.
Yeah, but then again,
it does feel like he's been fucked a bit, but shit, I mean, what you do at the dark comes out to light, right?
The guy grew up and went to school in this country, right? Kind of the wider question is, why is the education system not teaching kids in these communities about the horrors of Auschwitz? It's the exact same reason that we don't teach kids about horrors of slavery. We don't teach kids about the horrors of all kinds of genocides and atrocities happening. Yeah. The guy was an ignorant kid when he wrote these tweets. Yeah. Obviously, he's a dickhead. He's obviously a dickhead. But we addressed this, like the statute of limitations and how long you take. He very clearly doesn't believe those things.
And also, like, it doesn't. I think also using a fairly, common anti-Semitic slur in a Facebook message when you're 19 is very different than people, to your face saying the P word at you. Like, it's a different thing.
Agreed.
He's also a single dickhead teenager. He's not an entire
It's not institutional.
On whom your livelihood depends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think the funniest thing about that, I was at the Jewish Museum with Azeem Rafiq. I spoke to him. He seemed, fairly contrite about it. It was quite an interesting day. But we tweeted all this stuff out. And the funniest comment that I saw was someone was like, it's just funny that when you get accused of racism, like he was, they then show you like absolute weapons grade racism. So they're like, you said a Facebook slur, you said a slur on Facebook, here's the fucking Holocaust, big man. So they're like, oh, you're an anti-Semite. Nah, these are anti-Semites.
Shit. I hope we all learn from this. Wiley, Azeem, I hope we learn.
I would like to add to Johnny's point about uncancelling Wiley for $2 million. I will take him to the Jewish Museum if he wants it.
I will take Wiley to Auschwitz.
And that would be your payment. You don't need $2 million.
I'll take Wiley.
I'm presuming I'd split it with Johnny.
Yeah, obviously. I will take Wiley to Auschwitz and I'll just leave him there. Yeah. And he can walk back. Fuck him.
Yeah. Very good, very, very good. We are now going to talk about a story which we touched upon in the quiz, actually. I think we touched upon this. It was one of Tommy's quiz questions last time around. And we said we'd come back to it. And things have developed quite a bit in the meantime. I'm not sure if you are aware, but there is a pretty well-known, very successful Chinese tennis player called Peng Shuai. Apologies if we have got that wrong. We still haven't quite figured.
That's a massive we. I haven't actually mispronounced it yet.
But you said Peng Shuai.
I haven't pronounced anything.
Which you did.
It's not on recording.
But yeah, this has developed quite somewhat. She disappeared after making some accusations towards somebody very, very high up in the Chinese government. And I'll give you the background. Because as of this week, the Women's Tennis Association has announced the immediate suspension of all tournaments in China amid concerns around this tennis player, Peng Shuai, who disappeared from public view for 3 weeks after accusing a top Chinese official of sexual assault. The WTA chief Steve Simon has said he has serious doubts that Peng was free, safe, and not subject to intimidation, and as a result made the very brave and bold step to withdraw. Mrs. Peng is a prominent... I know, it's a great name. Is a prominent figure in Chinese tennis with almost $10 million in career prize money, introduced to the sport by her uncle when she was 8. After sharing an accusation of this Chinese official on Weibo, the tennis player was... Sorry?
Weibo.
Okay, Weibo. The tennis player was not heard or seen publicly for several weeks. That was until the 17th of November, when state media outlet CGTN published on Twitter that it was claimed to be an email from Miss Peng, which looked a little bit dodgy, to say the least. If you can pull that up, it does. And then several days later, there were some pictures which emerged of Mrs. Peng sitting at a dinner table, amongst other things, with a caption that says, "Happy weekend," of her out with some people. But obviously, the authenticity of that picture was also questioned. Obviously, as I said, the WTA are like, nah, B, we out. But this has called into question the moral standpoint of the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, who have kind of been a little bit...
It's not even just them, though, because it's like also the NBA.
Yeah.
Also, the IOC refused to call Taiwan. So
yeah, exactly.
So
they released a statement. They released a statement saying they had spoken with Mrs. Peng and she appeared to be safe and well.
Very good.
But the pressure is mounting on them to take a firm stance. So, how do we attack this one?
I mean, I'm tempted to take the box standard Labour MP line, a la Richard Burgon, and be like, well, people go missing in America as well. We shouldn't be focusing on Chinese tennis players going missing. No one's heard from Andy Roddick in 15 years. Does anyone know he's still alive?
True.
I mean, what is there to say?
Get yourself out of this one, buddy.
What is there to say? I mean, China. There's a lot of shtick about China at the moment, and it's a particular problem in our political establishment because they've been very effectively buying influence for the last 10 to 15 years after the Russians vacated the space when commodity prices collapsed around 2009. And you won't hear a lot of commentary on it, but we almost got to the point where the CCP was running our telecommunications infrastructure through 5G, etc. So the level of influence that they've got here is so stark that I'm less worried about a single tennis player going missing when our government kind of refuses, condemns millions and millions of Uyghur Muslims being fucking bodied in the west of the country.
Are you saying you don't care about Peng?
I do care about Peng, but I think the wider issue is the conduct of the Chinese Communist Party. The wider conduct of the Chinese Communist Party. And
it's just Peng black girls you care about, right? Boom.
Very good.
See what I just did there?
Yeah, it was very good. Shout out Route 73.
There was layers in that joke as well.
There's a wider problem with how we confront the CCP. How do you confront the superpower when they start behaving like this? When you've effectively voted to become a regressive little island on the corner of the Atlantic Ocean?
I think it's 20 years too late for that. We've lost, man.
I mean, we're fucked, right?
Yeah, they're building like fucking 10 airports a week. We're so fucked.
They are now having their century of embarrassment on us for fucking them during the Opium Wars. Like, what do you say? Obviously it's fucking awful this girl's gone missing. She tried to raise a rape case and then she's been gone missing. Yeah. How do you do anything about it? It's time for
China, not widely known as being sort of like the thought leaders in the Me Too space either. Not exactly a safe environment for those kind of revelations.
Sure, right? I mean, you basically just need like a lot of different communities, government, the left, Twitter, whatever, need to grow up and basically confront the fact that China is not this socialist left-wing ideal of economic prosperity. It's actually a deeply insidious dictatorship where the guy who runs the country is now president for life and people go missing for dissenting. It's time to face that reality.
Yeah, so I mean, is the question then, like, for someone like the WTA, like, should they stand up to China then? Because you're kind of saying it seems a bit pointless, like, that they're doing these little things. Whereas, like, I don't know, maybe just from an optics perspective, maybe it's fucking hollow, maybe it's not, but, like, you got to do something, right? Like in the same way that like FIFA should probably boycott, Qatar, right? Yeah. Or like the NBA should stop playing games in China, or like any of these things. It would be nice if people gave a shit. Like I just think it would be nice if people said, "Fuck it, we'll take an L, we'll lose some money, we'll lose out on the sort of the Chinese blood money, and we'll just be a bit more principled." Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I agree. And you have basketball players like Enes Kanter who've gone missing.
Yeah.
Had been career cancelled to the extent where LeBron James comes out and talks shit about him for trying to defend the Uyghur Muslims. Like, it's totally mental.
Well, that's the thing, right? Mesut Ozil essentially had the exact same
Basically,
thing, right?
yeah.
So I agree with your point, Josh, completely. But to the wider point you guys have both made, yes, making a stand, pulling out the NBA or whatever it may be, will be absolutely the right thing to do. But the political ties and the power that China has means that they will enact revenge somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do, right? Like, the WTA can't do anything more than that. Like, you got to start somewhere. And if you actually believe about confronting China, which most people, I don't know, everybody wants to buy cheap Chinese goods and not really think too much about our relationship with China. Yeah. But if we, at some point, decided to wake up and be like, actually, fuck these guys, you got to start somewhere. You got to do these little things that, are ultimately pretty not going to change the world, but like, it's important, I think.
Yeah, and actually, don't get me twisted. The point I'm trying to make is that I think the WTA probably show more cojones than most Western superpowers. Certainly more than the IOC as a relative counterpart. The point that I was getting at is that it's time to wake up and it's time to realize that in its attempt to ascend to superpower status, we tried in 2010 to have this decade of prosperity under Cameron and Osborne. Clearly, it hasn't had the influence that we thought it was going to have. They basically just laughed at us, took some sterling and lent it out to other countries to build the Belt and Road Initiative. It's time to confront China as an issue, and that doesn't make you less of a leftist because they happen to have a hammer and sickle on their flag. It's time to really keep saying the same point. It's time to understand that this is a repressive regime. This is a repressive dictatorship, and until we start attempting some kind of economic retaliation or diplomatic retaliation, tennis players will keep going missing, as will regular citizens. It's only fortunate that people in the West know who the fuck Peng Shuai is. I'm sure there are millions of other Chinese people who go missing, just as there are millions of documented Uyghur who
Jack Ma came up missing, right?
He came back a bit, yeah. He's paid the tax, right? He's done the baybeee.
Yeah. He's
done what Wiley needs to do. He's paid to be uncancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know Wiley, so I don't know why you keep looking at me. We will send it. I mean, how will we even send it to him now? He's not in any of the socials. Fucking hell.
He got email. We'll find his email.
Thoughts with Peng, man. We hope she's safe, right? We'll probably hear from her again, right? It probably won't get much worse from a perspective of her safety.
I don't know. I don't know. People go missing for a long time.
Is she too high profile? I mean, Jack Ma was pretty
a lot of people are high profile. I just don't think they give a shit, man.
They just don't care.
They don't care.
They will say, come and get it.
Yeah.
Come and get it if you really want. I mean, these people are probably about to invade Taiwan in the next few years, right? It's missing tennis players the least of their concerns.
Yeah.
Right, we've actually only got a couple more things to discuss. Oh, your boy. While we're here, your boy.
My boy.
I mean, pappy to you, really. Like Jack Dorsey.
Oh man, stepping down.
He stepped down.
Yeah, we should ask the blue tick guy really, because
oh shit, yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah. Obviously, as a blue tick Twitter person, I am sort of duty bound to defend the platform at all costs. Think it's really great what they're doing.
Is that part of the terms and conditions when you get the blue tick?
Yeah, it's like a super.
Twitter, basically.
You get a super secret entry in certain.
But he had that whole Steve Jobs things happen, right? Where I think essentially after they went public, he got sacked, didn't he? I think that's the story. He got sacked and then he came back in, and there were some questions about his focus on the company, and because he was pretty eccentric with all the facial hair and the nose rings and generally
I was about to say there needs to be some questions.
Generally looking quite unbathed half of the time.
He runs his entire business from an iPhone. He doesn't have a laptop. He doesn't have a tablet.
That sounds like a fucking nightmare, mate.
He runs his entire business off the Notes app on his iPhone. And Square.
And that's why Twitter's such a fucking shit show.
Yeah.
No wonder the shareholders are losing their shit.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, no wonder they had to get rid of fucking fleets.
Yeah, but he is he, as you know, he owns Square, which obviously owns Cash App and a couple of other companies, and he has just, I think he's done essentially what Google did, right? They renamed the sort of parent company overall, holding it to Alphabet. Mm-hmm. He has changed the name of his company to Block. And Block is now the company, the overarching company, which owns Cash App and Tidal and a couple of the other companies.
He own Tidal now?
Yeah, he owns Tidal.
Jay-Z sold it.
Yeah, we spoke about it. Jay-Z sold it to him.
Jugs.
Who the fuck is his Tidal?
They're in it.
Quite a few people.
Who? So you don't see that many people posting their Tidal rap.
Yeah, to be fair, it was their rollout in the beginning which really pissed people off, because it's when they got all those rich artists to come and say, "Please help us get paid even more."
That was so jokes.
The reality is that Tidal pay out their artists way better than
really?
any of the other platforms, and they're now actually introducing.
Does it cost a lot more?
No, it's not much more. It's actually pretty similar.
Oh,
to
really?
Spotify and the rest.
Who's on Tidal that you can't find anywhere else?
No, it's all the same. It's much of a muchness in terms of the content, but the interviews that they get and all of that kind of additional content is typically where these companies differentiate themselves. But you get Taylor Swift across all of them, you get Jay-Z across all of them. What Tidal are doing, which is interesting now, is unlike a lot of other streaming platforms, is if you are paying £10 a month for Tidal and you only listen to an artist, the percentage of your money that goes to that artist is way more, as opposed to this sort of even distribution, which isn't actually an even distribution, because if you've got big artists like Ed Sheeran, Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift on these platforms, they're typically going to want the bigger proportion, as will their labels. But Tidal are the only company at the moment that I'm aware of that has the actual distribution according to listenership. So it's actually the superior streaming platform in terms of what it stands for, in terms of sound quality, when you do all of the analysis. It's just the market share just isn't in there.
Do you have a blue tick on Tidal? Is that what this entire segment's about?
No, I don't have a blue tick at all. My brother got a blue tick the other day as well.
Oh, did he?
Yummy, yeah.
Man, shout out, Yummy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. It's quite sad for me.
Yeah, I'd be pissed if my brother got a blue tick.
Yeah.
I'd be
To be honest, I'm not on Twitter like that.
Yeah, no, we've tried. We tried to get you there.
But yeah, not the last we've heard of Jack Dorsey, and there's not much.
I do hope he shaves, though.
Why?
I do hope he shaves. It's a ridiculous
He's got
bit.
billions of dollars, man. You don't have to do it.
Don't tell him to
anyone
shave.
says.
Why are you telling
Yeah,
a
I
billionaire
guess.
what to do? What?
Although I will say that Cash App is fucking everywhere in America.
Yeah.
Like if
Strip clubs, especially, innit, Johnny?
I wouldn't know, but when you basically the service industry is super fucked in America. That like minimum wage is $2 an hour, and like you have to pay staff tip. Yeah, that's how it works, right? So
$2.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's called tipped minimum wage.
So minimum wage
I knew it was tips, but like
outside of the service industry, minimum wage is $15 an hour in the state of New York. In the state of New York, if you work in the service industry, $2 an hour
That
is
is
your wage.
wild.
You make your money on tips. If you don't have cash on you, you say, "Can I give you a tip on card?" They all say, "No, we don't take it, but you can send me on Cash App." It's everywhere,
Mazza.
Including in your favorite strip clubs in Miami.
including in 11 and Live in Miami. Thanks.
Mazza. Let's do relationship advice, and then we can end with a tribute to Virgil Abloh.
Okay. It's your turn this week, isn't it?
It is my turn.
Coming from the ex.
Oh yeah,
sex
maybe you want to
podcast
tell the
host.
listeners what you were doing before podcast was. We asked Josh if he had been on a podcast before, and he revealed that he had.
He went whole chest. He went, yeah.
Yeah.
Been on bare podcast. No, I've been on a couple of podcasts before. I used to do this one called "Is It In Yet?" Sex and relationship.
Such a good name.
Such a good name.
Such a good name.
It's a great.
I've also got some relationship and dating experience. I was on the Guardian blind dates. I was on an episode.
I had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I did also have a girlfriend once. And I was also on Channel 4's First Dates last year.
For real.
For real.
Prolific.
How did I not? To be honest,
This is
it's
Kingston
on so
this
much
is
now. I can't keep up with it.
Kingston
but
Liberal Synagogue's second biggest gal list.
what season? What
of all
episode?
time.
It is the most recent series that came out January 19th, 2021. First episode. First day on the first episode.
How'd you get on?
So they made it, obviously, because they like film me 4
comes the
hours.
story.
They cut it and they make it look like you had a great time. She was so dead. So dead.
Really?
Just
Was she
vibeless. She was really, 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 really Tory.
Where in London was she from?
She was from Fulham.
Obviously.
Worked in politics.
You spoke politics over a date.
Well, no, because that was the whole fucking thing that they like put.
They match. Yeah.
They match you based
two
on that.
Tories
'Cause
together,
I worked
So
with
you
that.
asked, but don't they match according to what you actually want? Did you put has to be a staunch right Tory?
No,
His application was I run Pretty Patel's Instagram account.
Yeah, exactly. And they did the rest.
No, because they do, like, before the show, they ask you, like, all these questions. They're like, would you date a girl missing a limb? Would you date a girl that's blind, deaf, like, disabled?
Whoa.
Would you date someone
Votes
different
conservative.
race? Different, whatever. I just answered fairly normally, and they sent me this absolutely dead girl.
Was she easy on the eye at least?
Well, look, I mean, it's on Channel 4. No, is the answer.
Can
Be
we
the
get,
judge
can we,
yourself.
Can we get her on the pod?
Yeah, for real.
I'd love to know what she has to say
her
about
version
Josh.
of events.
Just watch the episode, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly. I had to edit this relationship advice quite a little bit. For some reason, when I read it, I was like, oh, if I go a bit too detailed, then it could reveal too much.
Okay.
But it's a tricky one.
Is it someone we know?
Someone I know.
Well, I don't.
No.
Okay, very good.
Without further ado, I'm 24 and my husband is 32.
Ooh.
We have been together for 6 years and we got married 5 months ago. I really love him and we get along pretty well.
Just doing some maths there. She's 24. Been together 6 years.
Yeah.
He waited till she turned 18.
So she was 18 when he met. 32 minus 60. 26 and 18.
Yeah.
Continue.
We've had a monogamous relationship so far, and he's the first one I've had sex with, although he had some previous experience before me. The other day he came.
So.
Yeah. The other day he came to talk to me and told me that he wants me to try to have sex with other men.
Whoa.
Bro.
He says that he doesn't think it's right for me to have only one person for the rest of my life sexually.
What?
And that I'll be curious about it in the future, and that I need more experience. I'm not sure what to think about it. He says he's okay with it as long as I use protection. We invited a few friends over this weekend, and the intention was not sex, but we are really good friends. Some of them were single, and he told me to try it.
Huh?
I'm just wondering why he wants me to have sex with other men so bad.
Cuck
I
fetish.
don't know if I want it or not. What do I do?
This is mad chat.
Yeah, I think he's got a pretty strong like cuck fetish.
This is strong cuck fetish vibes. Yeah.
I don't think he's doing it just to be like, babe, go out, get some more experience, come back.
Let's have it. Because it doesn't even sound like this is an open relationship thing. This is like, I want you to fuck other guys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy you fucking
Maybe
other
I'll
guys.
think about it.
Yeah,
you know?
I might.
Maybe
like,
I can watch it.
I mean, to be fair, like we don't normally slew the people that submit these requests, but I'm going to have to this week. Like, as a 26-year-old who drew an 18-year-old virgin, it's probably not a serial gallist. Probably not a serial gallist. Probably understands that at some point she's going to cheat on him anyway. So he's just trying to front run the emotional hurt by pretending that he's in control of the situation.
Coming from a pretty dark place, it would seem.
Yeah, like
You don't think he's just like blowing someone else's back out and just wants to...
Oh, so you think he's like offloading the guilt by being like, just go
100%.
fuck that man?
100%. You don't think...
no,
Ah.
no, because why would a 26-year-old be drawing an 18-year-old who's never had sex before? This is bad baby vibes. It's like he waited for her to
I mean,
turn
I don't
18.
think... Maybe he didn't target her. She was paying. Turns out she
happened to be
18 and
never
hadn't had sex.
Where are you when you're 26 and you're meeting 18-year-olds though?
I mean, me, I completely wouldn't. I mean, yeah, the idea of sleeping with a virgin, oh my God, never
Yeah,
in life.
No,
Yeah.
no. This is mad chat. I would say, honey, it's almost too late because you have already married him.
Honey.
If there's no prenup and he's got money, you could double up here, basically. You could fuck everyone until you find someone that it makes economic sense to divorce the first guy and leave with. But what I'm sensing here is that the love of your life is a bit of a wrong-un. But there's no reason you shouldn't capitalize on this opportunity. And if he wants you to get it in elsewhere, get it in elsewhere. Why not?
But I mean, let's just say that like, you know, to all intents and purposes, she's super into this marriage and
Right.
she's like super into him. That would just like fuck with your head if they're like, oh, just go fuck other people. Because you think, you know, what we're
Yeah,
saying
that's
about
true.
like, is he blowing out backs, you know, and trying to do the guilt thing, or like
Several backs.
or
Getting
like,
blown.
It's a multi-back blow situation.
or has he got a weird cuck fetish and like, do I want to be married to someone with a cuck fetish? Like, I think it would make you reconsider. I mean, personally, I would just say go live your life, fuck some guys, why not? And you know, maybe not.
That's a free option.
That
That goes
yeah.
without saying.
Yeah,
Fuck other guys for sure.
Is this grounds for divorce?
it's weird though, isn't it?
It's weird chat. It is weird chat. Because this doesn't sound like open relationship.
as far
this
as,
doesn't
like-
sound like open relationship vibes. Because she didn't say like he wants to explore other people as well, right?
No.
Yeah, no, to be fair. The encouragement is one-sided.
Go and fuck other guys.
Yeah. Or maybe she's dead in the
Well,
sack.
I did think that. Does he want her to play?
Oh,
away
like
ga-
he actually just wants her to learn.
To
He
get
wants.
better.
He's basically looking. He's looking to do a little Ross Barkley, send her out on loan, see if she comes back and make the first team.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe, but then also mad chat because like you've been
That's
fucking an 18-year-old for 6 years and you didn't know she was any good at sex.
Yeah,
And
that's
also,
true.
like,
Actually, you're right
to,
there.
you have to
That
take
rules
some
that out.
responsibility for the fact that you haven't made her good at sex in 6 years, right? Like,
That too.
For real.
That's the part of that conversation about bad sex that people don't want to have.
For real.
If you've been with someone for so long and they're dead, my friend, you also
yeah.
are dead.
It takes
Yeah.
total tango.
'Cause, like,
100%.
you've been with 6 years. If you want them to do a certain thing, fucking tell them.
Yeah,
right?
sex is one of those things where you can quickly just turn it into something good if you just watch a few porns and just talk a bit more.
Yeah.
Explore.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's basically what alcohol's for.
But is it grounds for divorce?
Grounds for divorce, I'm not entirely...
They don't have kids. They've just been together. They've been married 5 months. They've been together for 6 years, yes. But if your husband of 5 months is already saying, break this fucking sanctity, the vows that we've just gone back some of the
Sacred
people.
bond.
Exactly.
Can we go back to an old relationship advice segment classic?
Okay.
And guess the race.
Okay, if you want.
So we used to do this, Josh, on the earlier editions of the relationship advice segment. They say guess the race. I'm going to guess gonna guess these are white people.
You would be right.
Interesting.
Yeah, you would be right. Like
This
proper, like pinky fucking ring, like white.
White
Oh,
nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Family crest white.
the caucasity of this.
Yeah, the caucasity is
of
big
this,
here. Yeah.
Of this scenario is
Yeah.
loud.
Blinding.
It's strong.
Yes.
It's loud.
It's loud.
It's very loud.
It's very loud.
We need to advise her. We need to be decisive with this advice.
Mina Mami, you've already got a free option, yeah? You might as well you should say, yes, sweetheart, I'm going to go fuck other guys. And then basically use that time to figure out whether or not your boyfriend's sus. Because it kind of sounds like maybe this is the only fella she's really met.
Yeah.
She has no context to what non-nonces are like in bed.
Yeah.
She should take that free option.
Sow some oats,
100%.
Live La Vida Loca, if you will.
Why not?
And holla Johnny.
I saw his house, by the way. I saw his house.
Ricky Martin.
Yeah. He's got a massive jacuzzi with a dome on the top. On top of the house. They said they can fit up to 25 men in that jacuzzi.
Wasn't that Jackie Chan's?
No, Jackie Chan's was the second on the tour that you can rent for 10k a day.
Okay.
Bargain.
Yeah. Fits
So-
10 people though. So
So she should, in fact, go and find
Go on loan.
a plethora of
Yeah.
penis
go on loan. Yeah, for sure.
to explore,
Yeah.
potentially better herself
Yeah.
and her performance in the sack. And while she's doing that, process whether or not she actually wants to be
With a nonce.
with that penis for the rest of her life.
Yeah, 100%.
And then at the end of the day, I'm guessing that he's probably, maybe this is unfair, but like 26-year-old, 18-year-old, probably got more money than her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like pull the ripcord, take half his cash and fuck off.
That's why I asked about a prenup.
Yeah.
That's why I asked about a prenup.
Assuming there's no prenup,
Yeah.
pull it, fuck off.
See you later.
There you go.
Just find the best dick available and then take nonce's money.
Yeah.
Bosh.
You don't hear many men being able to tell that story of women saying to them, go and bang other women. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. How many women have cup
Yeah.
fetishes? That's not like, is that a women thing?
Pretty rare, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I kind of want to celebrate. I kind of want to like congratulate her on this unique position. that
Yeah,
she's
maybe
in.
she got
But I don't
cave.
think girls want that in the
But
same
they just
way.
don't want it. They're
Yeah.
just built different to us, right? It's a shame. It's a shame. Just a wasted opportunity.
Doesn't know how lucky she has it.
She's actually with the dream man.
So continue to send your scenarios through either by DM, text, whatever, and we will do them as much justice as we can. Yeah, we're coming up to the end. Guys, this has been a pleasure.
Been short, sharp, and punchy this week.
Yeah, I think we're like one of the shortest ones we've ever done. Josh, what's this been like for you, buddy?
It's been very real. Yeah, a lot of good. Yeah, it's good. It's been fun. I liked it. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, we usually do it a little bit longer. But you know, we're
But I'm
keeping
jet
it
lagged to
short.
shit and there's not been a lot going on.
There's not been a lot going on, and I think we've covered what we need to cover pretty appropriately. But obviously, this week was a very, very sad week for anybody who is in fashion, culture, technology, architectural, of those interests, rather, with the sudden death of Virgil Abloh. On Sunday night, or last week Sunday, I was just on Instagram. I think I literally just come home from lunch with my family. It was my sister's birthday. Shout out Fiona.
Shout out.
And then I went on the Instagram, and it was a post on Virgil's Instagram page, basically stating that he had died. And the announcement was, we are devastated to announce the passing of our beloved Virgil Abloh, a fiercely devoted father, husband, brother, son, and friend. He is survived by his loving wife, Shannon. For over 2 years, he had been valiantly battling a rare aggressive form of cancer, cardioangiosarcoma, and he chose, similar to Chadwick Boseman, to battle this privately since his diagnosis in 2019. Not gonna lie, lads, I was very emotional about this. Very, very emotional. I had a slight little existential crisis at home because it's just like, man, life is too short. There's something about this lockdown, and obviously I lost my dad last year as well, so I'm still grieving, obviously. But like, there's something about these stories that are happening more and more and more of young people just dying and crazy things happening, whether it's Christian Eriksen falling over on the pitch and all this other stuff. It's just random shit that's happening, which is just hitting me harder than it ever did before. I don't know why. But this guy in particular, I didn't love all of his fashion. Like, he started off in this company called Pyrex, then it became Off-White, and then he did the collaboration with Nike. Louis Vuitton then signed him as basically giving him the most senior position in male fashion, giving him the creative director job for male fashion at Louis Vuitton, all in the matter of like a few years. So his career, basically, civil engineer, architectural, academic background, to being like the face of fashion, culture, etc., was literally like a 5-6 year stint. And the outpour of dedication that this guy had from everybody across all, whether it be people like Pharrell, Kanye West, obviously, he's massive affiliations to there, Jerry Lorenzo, people like Nigo, you got the organizations that he's worked with, Nike, Adidas, and so forth. The outpouring was just like something I've never seen before, probably even more than Chadwick Boseman, because this guy didn't just create trainers, didn't just create clothing. He created luggage, he created furniture, he designed cars, like everything that he did in this short space of time to just stamp his mark. Most people just saw it as like the guy who put words in quotations and wrote them on stuff. But that was a much deeper sort of ideology behind what he was doing. So it was super, super, super sad. Life is short, fam. You just got to tell people you love him. And that wouldn't have kept him here, right? What he had was a very, very rare form of cancer. And do you remember, I don't know if you remember Nick Boardman. Yeah, Nick Boardman, R.I.P., my boy. But he had a similar thing. He had a pecoma, which was a very rare form of a very rare form of lung cancer. So telling people that you love them doesn't necessarily always save them or keep them here. But it's very, very important that we give people flowers while they are still here, because sweet Jesus, man, life is short. It's not promised to anyone. Virgil Abloh, what a fucking legend. All I want to say is just rest in peace.
Amen. Amen. And there's been so much emotion displayed towards him, specifically in Miami, in Wynwood, in the heart of Art Basel this week, not only as the creative lead for Louis Vuitton, who are a major player in Art Basel, but as an artist whose style wasn't really, you wouldn't consider it street art, but it very much was of a culture that spoke to street artists. And I was doing a tour of Wynwood a few days ago by the time this comes out, and I met 3 different artists who all said they have never seen an outpouring of grief for any single death as they have this week for Virgil Abloh. So like many, I didn't personally fuck with his content, wasn't really my bag, but he seemed like a good dude.
He was a very good dude.
I always admired the way that I never really kept up to date with what he was coming out with, but I always admired the way that he wore so much shit from people who knew and didn't know what they were talking about and stayed true to himself.
100%.
And that's admirable.
In an elitist, very, very snobbish industry where people want you to go through the necessary channels or the typical sort of channels, fashion school, blah, 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 blah. He was the antithesis of all of that. And he, as you said, he wore a lot of critique. People who he eventually won over, but not always. And again, whether or not that's the future of things, like the world that we are living in now, everything's sort of been democratized. Before, what we're doing right now in my living room, we would have had to pay a great deal of money to do in a studio without our own equipment. We would have had to outsource most of things. This idea that most things are now accessible, and ultimately all you need is an idea and a great deal of guile and hard work, is something that a lot of people who are stuck in their ways aren't quite comfortable with as we move into these modern times. Yeah. And he epitomized that message. I've never seen anything like it. It's probably a week and a bit now, and I'm still seeing posts every single day. And the thing, to your point, that I noticed is the craziest is that, like, Channel 4 did a dedication to him, and it was just him doing like a DJ set in Visions in Dalston with Boya D and those guys from New Brand Flex. Yeah. And then there's someone who I know on Instagram who's like the stylist of Tiny Temper from years back. And her post was something like, back in 2017, when I didn't know how to take a snap on a camera, I saw Virgil Abloh walking in Shoreditch on his own, and he was like, I'll be your subject. Wow. And then they kept in touch. Wow. And then you got people who nobody knew, problematic as he is, but Octavian. Octavian was just this artist that no one really knew, who had a couple of good tunes. And he turned Octavian into a massive fucking statue outside of Louis Vuitton, I think in Paris or in New York. Right. Like, this was a guy who just connected. He was in the middle of culture. He understood that the smaller players are as important as the big players. As you say, man, he was a living legend, and we didn't quite appreciate it because, maybe to your point, not many people really bought into the clothes and all of the stuff that he brought. But if you understood what he was actually trying to purvey message-wise, what's not to love, man? What's not to love?
Yeah, and if you visit his environment, where his work was most received, i.e. on the streets, places like Wynwood, you'll see that reverence is almost unlimited. He's everywhere at the moment.
And it will live on. Right before he died, Louis Vuitton bought a majority stake in his brand Off-White, which is a huge deal. I'll let you guys research the details around that. But Off-White, the Virgil Abloh legacy will remain. Obviously, his design and creative team will remain. So much of what we will see, I would imagine, for hopefully the next few seasons. I know they do Fashion World in seasons. Will very much have the Virgil Abloh stamp. And I hope that legacy lives on throughout. I think he put so much into the last couple of years, knowing that possibly he wasn't going to be with us for much longer, that we've probably got a good few years left of his designs to live and view. But yeah, man, what can I say? Let me not say too much more because I'm an emotional old man now and I cry at everything.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Virgil Abloh. On the new music side, I was at this thing called Legend City Social last night at Notting Hill Arts Club. And it's the first time I've been there in a very long time. It's still popping. So if you ever get a chance to go to a Legend City Social night, it's like sort of live music and they bring like a bunch of their friends who are also amazing talents to perform. I would recommend you go. New music recommendations come from there. So there's this artist called Shantae who I saw last night, Shanteh, and her new album ID is out now on all streams. So check that out. A friend of mine, Lucia, who's a singer from Sweden, her new single is out as well. It's called Clean. Check those things out there. But other than that, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
It's been an honor.
It's been an absolute privilege.
Josh, we got to click it up for Josh.
Thanks for coming along,
man. Thank you very much. We'll let you head off now. You got some bays to see and all that thing. You live your life. It's Saturday. Saturday, baby.
I'm going to bed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You tired?
Dark outside.
You tired?
I'm
Look how dark
tired.
it is. I'm about to go to Westfield Stratford. I'm joining Apple Watch gang today.
Come on. I bought a new one in Miami still.
I thought that was new.
Yeah.
I thought you just changed the strap.
No, gold.
Is that the Series 7?
Yeah, gold stainless steel still.
You got the stainless steel.
Yeah,
I went
did.
for the Starlight
I've
aluminium.
got the gold Milanese bracelet.
But I'm going to be like running in mine.
That's why I got this one.
I got this rubbery sports strap.
Yeah, but this one just feels nice.
That's going to get manky when you sweat on it, man. And you don't run anyway. You're right.
You're manky when you don't sweat.
Yeah, but isn't that like quite a nice like a fabric thing?
Yeah.
That's not gonna. Yeah. You're gonna get all like the salt strains and all that stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be nasty.
Well, I just wear the other Milanese one.
Yeah. Wow. They've really got you by the balls. You got 2 Apple Watches and 2 pairs of AirPods.
No, I traded it in.
Oh, you traded it in.
Yeah, and I traded my iPad. I got a new iPad as well.
Sickness.
Wow.
I went shopping.
Wow.
Because basically, like, it costs the same in sterling as dollars out there in the US. It's
I
cheaper.
should have told you to get me an Apple Watch, to be fair.
Yeah, I would have got you one. It would have been cheaper as well. Now who's a dickhead?
Why don't I think like this?
Bye.
See you later.